Welcome back to another Story Tim, where I tell my favorite stories from my 50 years here on the planet. You know, some of the things that I've seen in my life I'm truly shocked by, and this is one of those stories where I just really couldn't believe my eyes. At this time I was working with WTOC, Savannah, Georgia, and we were living, my wife and I, and at those time my daughter Ashley, who was maybe about 2, and Jesse was just a baby, we were living in Pooler, which was just west of Savannah by about 15 miles, something like that. And we were in Pooler one day, and I remember it was a Saturday morning, and there was kind of a crowd there in this little town, and I was like, what's going on, you know? So I walked over there to see what was happening, and I saw a group of guys in colored robes with hoods. It was the Ku Klux Klan, man. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is, you know, 1993, 94, and you got the KKK wandering around in town in the middle of the day? You know, I'm like, what? So I ran back to my house and I got my camcorder and I ran over there to cover these KKK guys, all dressed in these blue robes and yellow robes. You know, you normally think about them as all white robes, but that wasn't true in this case. They all had their fancy colored robes and stuff like this. So I went over there to shoot video of this stuff to try to get some interview with these guys. And I'm like, well, I know you guys are, you know, part of the KKK. Why are you here? And they're like, we didn't really want to talk to you WTOC guys. We don't really talk to the news. And I'm like, well, kind of tell me kind of, you know, what you're doing here. Well, we don't want to talk about you. So I went over there and started, I was just taking regular, you know, cover video, and went over there to where the guy that seemed like he was the grand dragon of whatever, you know, like, well, you know, I'm with WTOC kind of guy. We don't want to talk to you, and you make us always look bad, and we're trying to hear about for white power, and you're making us sound like we're kind of crazy or something like that. And I'm like, in my mind going, yeah, because you are crazy. But so then I had these 2 big KKK guys come up to me, you know, and they said, listen, we don't want you talking around here. We don't want you around here. You know, we're good Americans. We're fine Americans. We're trying to preserve the right of white people. And if you don't get out of here, we're going to give you some of this. And they're like threatening to like beat me up. And I'm like, what? Listen, man, I'm just doing my job, man. Yeah, well, we're going to do our job too. And if you don't get out of here, it's going to be some of this. You know, they kind of shoving on me and stuff like this. So I'm like, well, maybe this isn't the best plan. You know, maybe I need to get out of here. Because, you know, again, I'm by myself. I don't got no backup. You know, so I just kind of moved back a little bit further and just kind of shot a little bit, you know, zoom in, stuff like that. So they didn't want to pound me. But I'll never forget the day I had an altercation with the KKK. And that was another Story Tim.